In terms of promotion, here's an example of a company that promoted itself. Uber. So what did they do? Well, they actually only started out with 4 employees. And so they did their beta in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley, to prove out their concept. And their first promotion was actually Twitter. And this is what Twitter's good for. If you want to get spread, if you want to reach a whole bunch of different people, this is the strength of Twitter. They launched their apps, and then how did they get people to act? Again, how do I motivate people to actually do something? Discounts. Yes, bribery, money. It works. And subsequently, the other thing about having a new product is you need validation. People need to believe that it's legitimate and good. Now, if you work for a major corporation like GE or something like that, they can use their brand to back up what they do. But being unknown, how do I know you're for real? And one way to do it is to have a third party legitimize you. And that's why press still matters a lot. And so they got funding after that. Then subsequently with their other campaigns, they had their website, blogs to tell stories about people who drove Uber, and Uber became the big hot thing. And subsequently they've used their brand to come up with, Uber boats and Uber balloons or whatever it is they have out there. And so, but there are weaknesses to what Uber did. There's always a weakness in a business. And so they're in a two-sided market, meaning they need drivers and they need customers. And so they didn't lock in their drivers. There's a lot of Uber drivers who also work for Lyft. There's been negativity about their surge pricing. And that negativity is where you hear stories about, like, a woman goes to the airport 10 miles away and gets charged $700 because she got the ride in the snow. In terms of supporting the drivers, they do that, but they put the drivers into hock. All of a sudden, this starts to feel like, early 20th century coal miners. There's no participation in the company. And not only that, but objective analysis of how much money you can make for Uber. They're finding out you're not earning much more than minimum wage. And the reason why Uber is good if you need a lot of cash in a hurry. But the problem is you're going to have long-term expenses. And those long-term expenses are going to be like your oil changes and your tires and everything like that. And so people don't think about those as being real expenses, but they are. And you do it more often. And they turn out to be big chunks of money. And so when you spread it all out, you find out that you're really not making that much money. And not only that, but there's regulatory backlash now. Some of these laws get passed, there's not going to be any difference between Uber and the taxis. So, in terms of competitors and how they could go after them, well, Juno in New York City basically addressed everything that Uber was doing wrong. And they're fixing it. And so this is the advantage of being the fast follower. You look at what the first mover does. And then you correct those kind of things. Now, these are videos. I won't go through them of different ads. And I'll comment later on Blackboard about my opinion of why it works and why it doesn't work. But look at these and see what you think of them. And so, in wrapping up this lecture, promotion is crucial. It's the way we go about communicating to the customer. And so what we want to do is pick, again, the right message, the right way, and all those other rights. But we want to drive awareness. We also want to drive the perception of what we are. And a big part of that also is how much does it cost? Because when we do these promotions, we have to think about, do I want a short-term effect, do I want a long-term effect, and what's going to be my return on this investment?